Welcome to the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures. So this is Hiker Lou. I just want to show you some fatwood that I processed today. I went out into the woods and I found a couple of pieces as a matter of fact. And it's like going fishing. As soon as you get there, all the action starts going crazy, and then before you know it, you have a dry spell. And that's just what happened with me. So I'm going to show you look at that. Now that's what you call fatwood. And I have another piece here. Put that there. I'm going to take that and cut it up. Put that right on top. There we go. Now, look at that, folks. Now that's what you call fatwood. And this is old, aged fatwood. I found this along a pine tree that was hanging off, and barely hanging off, and I kind of jumped out my hiking stick, hit it, knocked it down, and I harvested. Had to cut this is some hardwood to cut through, especially when it's old and dry like this. But I managed to cut it and looked at it just to identify, making sure what I was looking for, and that's it right there, fatwood. So I'm going to try process it into something like this, and that's some fatwood right there that I cut up in pieces. I want to show you. Look at this knot. Look how saturated that knot is with the resin. Oh yeah, that's some saturated resin. And that's what we got here. So I'll be right back. I'm going to show you a piece of this that I'm going to process of this really good hardwood that I found out there in the woods today. Welcome back, folks. Hiker Lou here with the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures. Welcome back to the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures, and I'm your host, Hiker Lou. I just want to show you some of this wood I just processed from the piece of fatwood that I got from a pine tree earlier while scouting out the woods. Look how beautiful that is. Oh yes, and it's old, nothing alive. You can see that. Some sap there too. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I have another segment that I filmed when I was out there in the woods, showing how I harvested from the pine tree and cut just to identify and make sure what I had was the real thing. So when I get upstairs, I'm going to start editing a little and take you back to the beginning, and then get to this point here showing you a finished product. And look at that. Look at this beautiful wood. And there you go. That's monkey wood right there. That's called fatwood, and it's resined pine wood. Okay, this is Hiker Lou from the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures, and I will see you when I'm upstairs editing my new video. Welcome to the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures with your host, Hiker Lou. I'm out here in the woods here, not too far from the highway, but I want to show you a piece of wood that I extracted from a pine tree. And you can see that right there, and the color, and that's that resin. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this open, and I'm going to show you the what's inside this piece of wood that I had extracted. It was hanging off the pine tree barely, and I just tapped it with my hiking stick and it just came down. Pretty heavy piece of wood. So I'm going to cut into this wood, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. Just hang in there. Okay, welcome to the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures, and I have a piece of wood. I'm going to start to I'm going to cut into this piece of wood to see if it's worth taking with me out of the woods here. Okay, so just hang out. I'm going to try to adjust this camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to cut into it with my saw. So hang on. So I'm going to cut into this piece of wood here. Let's see what we get. I extracted this from a pine tree and it was barely hanging on, so I'm going to kind of cut this for you here and see what we got. I'm almost finished cutting through it. Here we go. Oh my God, look at that. I got me a piece of gold right here. Didn't take long. And it smells really good. I love the smell of that. And that's what you call fatwood. And this was a piece of wood, that dead wood that was hanging on the side of a pine tree. It was at least 8 feet high, and I had to use my hiking stick to kind of tap on it, and it fell. And here's the other piece. Show you both pieces. Now this is what you call awesome. The awesome find. I was out no more. I was hiking no more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes into my hike, not far from the road, and into this little patch of woods, and look what I got, a piece of gold. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving along, and when I do find another piece, I'm going to start recording again. And that's what you call a good find. Here we are. Look at that. Just share that with you. This is my first time coming out looking for some fatwood, and I was lucky enough to find some within 10 minutes of my hike. Hike-a-loo here, and I'll be right back with you. There is a perfect example of a pine tree. And the way you can identify what type of pine trees this is by the clusters of the pine needles. They come in groups of 3, the clusters of a red or yellow pine. White pines come in clusters of 5. Okay, as far as the pine needles, when they're grouped up in a cluster, red and yellow pine trees have 3. A cluster of 3 pine needles per cluster. White pine, 5 pine needles. So I'm about to get out of here. A cluster of 3 pine needles. They come in clusters. This is one. A group of pine needles. See that? That's 3. That's a better picture right there. Those are 3 pine needles. They come in clusters of 3. That represents a red or yellow pine tree. White pine has clusters of 5. Next time you're out there in hiking adventures, you could identify what type of pine tree. Where there are over 100 type of pine trees in the world, so but mainly in the northeast and southeast United States, they're red, yellow, and white. All right, so it's a little information I want to share with you. Welcome to the Outdoor Wilderness Wildlife Adventures. I'm your host, Hike-a-loo. And here's some wood that I processed from a raw piece of wood that I got off a pine tree out there while hiking in the woods today. And this is something, a finished product that I had cut. And I want to show you another piece here. And folks, this is the life where you can enjoy doing what you love to do. You're out there, you know, and this is part of the process of me extracting wood for my fire kits. And let me tell you, I'm having the time of my life. This is as good as it gets, folks. Look at that. Freshly cut from a piece of wood like this. You can see that it's old. I got it off a pine tree earlier, and it was about 10 feet up in the air. Okay, this is as good as it gets.